let's talk about Explosion Jones.
Yes.
So, how do you like doing voice acting as opposed to on-camera acting?
I enjoy it, actually. Go to work in your pajamas if you want, flip-flops. Not have to worry about whether it's in focus or not.
Right.
Flub in a line. You can do it 15 different ways and nobody will ever know.
Right.
You know? I mean, of course you get to do material where you don't get beaten up. You know, you just beat your voice up, but you don't have to beat your body up.
Right.
You know, let the animators beat you up or beat somebody else up.
Do you find that you have to tap into a different skill set as an actor when you're working with just your voice as opposed
Absolutely,
to on
of
camera?
course. I mean, you know, you're trying to bring material to life with your voice and translate with your voice only. So there's a certain amount of an animated quality to the voice that's necessary. Right? You know? But other than that, I mean, you know, you still have to dip into the same resources to be creative about anything and to give a performance.
Right.
A certain level of energy that's necessary. I think the only thing about doing voice work is you can tend to wear your voice out,
Right.
because you know it's all about that. So you have to really be smart and not overextend, especially if you have a few days in a row that you have to do this.
Right.
It's an interesting way to be creative and to make a living with the voice. Those people who do nothing but that, you really admire.
Right.
Because it requires some skill, a lot more so than people think.
Sure.
Mr. Weathers, what do you attribute? It seems like there's this
Yeah.
renaissance of like kind of 80s action
Yeah.
movies or films. You know, I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up watching, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Rocky, Predator, all the stuff you were doing,
Yeah.
Action Jacks. I mean,
Yeah.
I could go on and on. I know
Yeah.
you're a filmographer. And what do you attribute to the renaissance of that kind of spirit of films?
Yeah.
Or shows that seems to be, you know, resurgent, reemerging?
Well, it's a good question, man. I mean, look, personally, I think there is the combination of talent that was around back in the 80s, combination of the kinds of movies that were made, obviously really wonderful directors who did some really incredible work. Even in action movies, you know, you spoke of a few of them that I've been involved in, with great directors, great cinematographers. Special effects wasn't really kind of the calling card of movies at that time. They were really human bodies and a lot of stuntmen, stunt women. Really well-told stories, you know, that I think were about people. Excuse me. And as good as movies are today, many of them, you know, being movies that are about superheroes and that are effects-driven, I don't know they resonate over the long haul with people. And you know, how many times have I heard, you know, something changed my life, you know, that I did or I was involved in, and people say those movies were so important to them growing up. I don't know that there is as much of that today. So, you know, whatever was really impactful, maybe considered to be old, is new again. And I really think that's it. I think the, as you call it, the Renaissance is simply that people have gone back to what really touched them and continues to touch them today. You know, when you can see movies from the 80s, they come on, what do you want to watch? You want to watch that? That says something right there.
Absolutely.
You have such a storied career and you've done so many iconic roles. What do you look for in a role nowadays, or what attracts you to a role?
Same thing that always attracted me. Really good writing. Really good stories. You know, stories today probably are no different than the day when people stood around a campfire and told stories, or when you as a kid heard stories told you by maybe some elder that you knew, or some friend that you knew. Or even today, when you hear some great story told you, it might be somebody's personal story of something they went through, and you hear it, it's like, wow, man, you just pulled in, you know?
Right.
And when stories, I think, also have some meaning, you know, which is what I think the intention of stories really is, to somehow tell us something about life, to pull us all together in a way and talk about our common experience as human beings. When those stories exist, I think there's an audience for them. And today, cinema in particular is such a graphic way of delivering those stories. You know, when the pictures work and pictures feed your imagination, the actors in them sort of somehow are relatable. Wow, we all want those stories. So for me, when I look for it, I look for all those things. Is it something that really interests me? Is it something I want to promote? If there's something that I get a lot of stuff handed to me where I'm asked to somehow either an offer to do it, or, you know, we want to meet you to do it, or come in and read for it. If it doesn't grab me, if it doesn't speak to me, then why waste the time? Why waste anybody's time?
Makes sense. Well, that's
Moving
okay.
again?
Moving again.
Yeah, talk about it.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
so much.
Pleasure,
It was an
man.
honor to
Thank
meet
you, sir. I
Pleasure,
appreciate you.
pleasure.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.